Ladies and gentlemen, now it's too late with Alan Mosley.
Guys, welcome back for another episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley. Joined as always by the number one producer in late night, it's Dave Willimowski. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I've had a really exciting week. Been doing a lot of work on this show, which is refreshing, doing something
what
new.
An idiot, am I right? Yeah, so just invoice the parent company, Alan Mosley TV, put on there, I'm thinking net 50 years, we'll send you a check.
Okay, yeah, I'll set that up.
All right, sounds good. Happy Thanksgiving, Dave.
You too.
Dave is so taken aback that I said I gave him well wishes for the holidays that he was stunned in disbelief.
I couldn't believe that you were possibly talking to me.
Okay, even though I said comma Dave at the end of the sentence. All right, okay, here's the thing about Thanksgiving. It's always you either go to a family member's house and they're kind of like in charge of the primary festivities and maybe you're bringing a dish, or you're one of these unfortunate SOBs where everybody's coming to your house and you're the one that's up at like 3 a.m. cooking, right? That's how it was at my house. Dave, are you guys the visitors or the home team?
Well, at first we did do it. As soon as we got our own house, we did the family Thanksgiving. But then my brother got a house. And it's larger than ours, so it fits everybody better. So he got suckered into it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that don't be upset, folks at home. This is maybe more for the young people in the audience. Don't be upset if you get like a cousin or an in-law or a sibling who winds up like, oh, look at me, I'm, they became a doctor or a lawyer and they went and bought a big house up on the hill. That just means they have to host all the holiday get-togethers, and you can literally just get out the Velveeta shells and cheese like 30 minutes before you're supposed to be there and be like, yeah, look, I slaved over this all day. Take it, you ungrateful piece of shit. And then there you go. You're done with the holidays. That's the way
you
to
keep
do
the
it.
leftovers.
That's the way to do it. My family always it was always a bittersweet time at Thanksgiving and Christmas, because you know how Thanksgiving and Christmas both fall? I mean, they're only like a few weeks apart, right? And so, and they're also the only times of the year that you do this whole huge festive, like turkey and ham and dressing and rolls and everything. And so you'll go like 11 months doing nothing. And then over the course of like 4 weeks, you're going to get up twice at like 2 a.m. and start cooking for the whole family, who shows up, eats, and leaves. That's how it was for my family. I don't know. I tried to start this off as like a happy holiday greeting, and it became really bitter all of a sudden. I don't know if you noticed that.
There's everything wrong with the holidays.
Yeah. Speaking of everything wrong with the holidays, folks who've watched the show for a while, that sometimes we try to do something fun or festive in the monologue. And sometimes I'll go on Twitter because I'm like, well, let's just see what people are talking about. Let's just see what's trending. And I thought surely there'll be something trending about Thanksgiving or Black Friday or whatever. But what was trending was hashtag CIA killed JFK.
Oh.
And I thought, oh wow. Well, and of course, and right below that was Happy Thanksgiving. And I was forced into making a choice. Do I stay on target and get something fun for the show? Or do I go down the rabbit hole? So we went down the rabbit hole. I clicked on CIA killed JFK. But pull up this first site right here. So this is kind of what spurred the whole conversation. You might remember they were supposed to release a bunch of files associated to the JFK assassination. And now the Biden White House has delayed the release of those files, blaming it on COVID-19. Now I don't exactly know what COVID-19 has to do with the files being delayed. I mean, it's some BS of, well, we were going to release how Bush Sr. killed the president, but we can't because, my secretary's sick. Yeah, pull that back up, Dave. Thanks a lot. Jesus, Dave, what was that?
It's the new experimental technology.
Guys, Dave has been putting countless hours into this new automated production of the show. And then that happened. But I'm not going to call him out live on air. I would never do that.
Oh,
all right.
You're above that.
I am.
Thankfully.
Yes. And so what's truly remarkable to me, because I don't really want to get into a whole bunch of conspiratorial stuff, it's more just to say that that actually happened, though. That was actually trending on Twitter in current year. That just the masses, just the regular folks out there were openly having conversations on social media about, hey, do you know the deep state killed the president? Did you hear about that? Like, that was an actual conversation going on in the like, we've moved on from Rittenhouse. We're done with that. Okay,
Yeah.
that guy killed some pedos and he got off. Great. But did you know that the CIA killed JFK? And I was like, wow, what a transition that was.
Well, we can't be talking about that Maxwell lady. We've got to have something else.
Very true. We're going to save that for later because I kind of feel like, I mean, because really, what is there even to talk about right now? Because they're not talking about it. But we're going to save that. We're going to save that for a few weeks down the road. But I am happy to announce we do have a new sponsor for tonight's show. Check out our new sponsor. It is Mother's Polishes, Wax, and Cleaners. It's never a tragedy to admire your car's beautiful shine. That's Mother's Polishes, Waxes, and Cleaners. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good commercial.
I saw that earlier and it didn't even register.
You know, we've only conned like 3 people into doing advertisements with us, and I'm pretty sure I've run them all off. Like, just personally, I did that. Speaking of running people off, so we have a conundrum tonight, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, a bunch of people were saying, "Hey, next week is like the Thanksgiving show. You should do a tier list for Thanksgiving." And then they're like, "Ooh, you should do a pie tier list." And I had told people, because me being a man of the people as I am, I had said, "Okay, we'll do a pie tier list next week, you guys." Mm-hmm. But then I forgot that we had a guest this week. We're going to have Mike Maharrey, National Communications Director of the 10th Amendment Center, was going to come on this week, and I always give the guest 2 segments, and we're going to talk about things and stuff.
Awesome.
And I was like, well, wait a minute. That's 1 segment too many. How are we going to fit all this in? And then I finally decided, well, I can't just not do the pie tier list. You can't, if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you might as well just give up.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do the pie tier list. So go ahead and pull it up here. The pie tier list. And joining us for the pie tier list. Hey, look who it is. It's Mike Maharrey.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
What? Just before we get started, by the way, I just want to point out, there's probably some people watching the show thinking, did Mike just sit there in silence for like this whole first 8 minutes of the show? The answer is yes, but he was also sitting here for like 44 minutes before that.
No, I just ran into the studio just now.
Yeah, you were in the green room where you have your white M&Ms and...
Only white.
Diet Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right. Just make sure, yep, okay, just make sure I got it. He'll never come back if I ever mess that up.
Oh.
So since we're already going to be over like 4.5 hours, let's go ahead and start the ultimate Thanksgiving pie tier list. You guys know the drill. We start with the S tier, which is the pie you just can't miss. It goes down A, B, C, D. We have included F, and then we've actually added a special category, never had, because some very angry listeners from the last couple of lists we did said, well, if you've never had it, you shouldn't rank it. It can't just be bad because you've never had it. That means you've never had it. You don't know. So now we have a category called never had. All right. We're going to start off with number 1. I'm going to pull this up here so that I can actually operate this abomination. Starting with apple crumble. So apple crumble pie. So it's like apple pie, but you know it's got the crispy bits and stuff in it. Now I got to be honest with you, I don't really even like pie that much. So I'm going to be heavily dependent on Dave and Mike. So Dave, I heard you already said that. I heard heavy breathing with them. That's some good stuff.
That's some good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So Mike, what do you think about apple crumble pie?
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably my favorite apple.
Okay. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's way better than like regular apple.
Yeah. Oh, so is this S tier? Is this the best of the best?
I don't know that it's the best of all pies, but it's definitely the best of the apple pies.
Okay, well, we'll put it in A for apple.
See, I really like pie, too. I don't eat a lot of it, but it's going to be hard to rank anything low.
I'm a huge pie fan.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. So now, Apple. Just regular old, the classic, as American as apple pie. So you're saying it will definitely go below the apple crumb. But is it just lower in A, or is it actually a lower tier?
It's going to be hard.
Is this with or without ice cream?
Oh.
I think we're just running the base model.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like we can't open up Pandora's box of additives. So
see, I might go down to a C without the ice cream.
Because that's what the apple crumble does for you, is you don't need the ice cream to make it good.
That's true.
C might be a good benchmark for a regular apple pie, and then everything else will be ranked accordingly.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that strategy.
So top of C or bottom of B?
Still in C.
Okay, top of C. All right, so instead of having the Dalton line, we have the apple pie line. Everything above apple pie is good. Everything below apple pie is bad.
Kind of like the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, exactly. He's a racist, Dave. I'm sorry. I should have warned you before. All right.
I don't know these references.
Next we have banana cream pie. Now I love bananas, even though I don't love pie in general. I do love bananas, and banana cream pie is pretty decent.
Yeah, that's take.
Is banana cream better than apple pie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is it better than apple crumb?
No.
Okay. Is it close to apple crumb or notably worse than apple crumb?
To me, it's close.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would go with close.
We'll put it in A, below apple crumb. Okay. The next one this is going a lot better, I think.
With 3 people. It's insane.
With more people. Mike, when we did a Halloween candy list, it took 43 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Blackberry pie.
Now, for me, I love blackberries.
Okay.
So for me personally, that's going to go right up there with the apple crumble.
Oh.
Like I would put them on an equal plane.
Okay. So definitively above the apple demarcation line.
Yes.
What do you think, Dave?
I can't say for sure I've ever had it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I imagine it's amazing. So I'm gonna
it's a little bit of the sweet tart, and if you have a nice sweet crust.
Okay.
It's another one that really needs ice cream too, but yeah.
I've had blackberry preserves. I don't know if I've even had blackberry pie. But you're saying it's way up there. So we're going to split the difference, and we're going to say that it's A tier right below the other two.
Okay.
All right.
I'm all right with that.
Blueberry pie.
Yeah.
Blueberry goes right above blackberry for me.
Right above blackberry. Yeah. Oh.
I like blueberries better than blackberries.
Oh. What about blueberry, Dave?
I agree. I concur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to I can't even see. Jesus. All right, we're going to put it right above. I've had blueberry Pop-Tarts and they're okay. So you're welcome. Cherry pie.
I'd put that just below apple for me.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry's not my favorite, but I'll eat it.
So is cherry below apple, as in if you were picking between the two, you would pick apple, but cherry was good? Or is it below apple, as in if there were other desserts, you would probably pick other desserts over the cherry pie entirely?
I'd almost put cherry in D.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they had like eclairs there or something, like those little frozen ones that they thaw out and they have come in a bucket.
Oh yeah.
I'd probably take that above the cherry.
Or
take that above a lot of stuff.
You like things that come in a bucket, do you, Dave?
Yeah, that's how I usually eat.
Okay. Is chicken pot pie, does that really count on the list of pies? Somebody put chicken pot pie on the damn list.
Of course
somebody.
I mean, I guess it is technically a pie, but it's not a dessert. Who eats chicken pot pie after they've eaten dinner?
For Thanksgiving, just had a bunch of turkey. How about some chicken?
Okay, well, I feel like this has to go low because this is a list of pies that you eat for dessert.
These are Thanksgiving
pies. At the
pies.
bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat chicken pot pie for dessert.
Jesus.
I might. I'm like we, we go to like McDonald's or something, and we'll have I'll have like a Big Mac or something, and she's like, "Can I get a sundae?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll get a cheeseburger for dessert."
Okay.
I like savory.
Here's a true confession for you. When my mom was sick, I ate an entire family sized chicken pot pie, like by myself.
That's comfort food right there.
It was totally comfort food.
You know what? Just based on that alone, instead of putting it in F, I'm gonna put it up to the bottom of D.
Okay.
All right.
It actually got bumped up a notch because some people are just psychopaths. All right. After chicken pot pie, chocolate pie. So chocolate.
That's good stuff.
Chocolate.
See, when it comes to cream pies, I don't know if I prefer those over fruit pies. There's a lot of nostalgia. My parents would make a ton of cream pies.
You like cream pies more than fruit pies, eh, Dave?
Damn it.
All right. Chocolate pie. So so first of all, is chocolate pie better than regular apple pie?
Yes.
Okay, so it's above that. Is it better or worse than apple crumb?
I'd
put it below banana cream.
See, I'd put it above banana cream.
So it's going to be in that area. The apple crumb.
So it's below apple crumb, but it's in solid A tier.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a lot of A tier going here.
Well, yeah.
It's going to happen.
We got three fatties to do this damn segment now. Look where we are.
Fair.
All right. I'm gonna put it above banana cream for now, but we'll basically say that's like a tie.
All right.
Coconut cream. So I hate coconut. Coconut makes me vomit. So
is it the flavor or the texture? Oh yeah, we discussed this.
so actually, if you want to know a funny little side story, so there's a few things in this world that it doesn't even matter if I like them or not. They make me throw up. So do you know the orange juice Sunny D? It's not even orange juice. It's
that's
just,
something.
It's just cancer. Yeah, Sunny D.
It's something weird.
Sunny D makes me throw up. Dr. Pepper makes me throw up.
Do you like Diet Dr. Pepper?
I don't drink them at all so I actually do hate them and they make me throw up. Cheesecake makes me throw up.
Really? Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
And I like cheesecake. It's kind of like I can eat it and say, "Oh, look, I'm enjoying life," and then I would die. I guess that's kind of how it is for like allergies and diabetics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then coconut. I know that's a
I'm
very
down with
weird
coconut.
List. Yeah.
I like coconut.
I like coconut as well.
Is coconut better or worse than apple pie?
Better.
I would say to me it's better. I'd probably put it there. I would probably make that the first one in that right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, in the B. Okay. So it's not a premier dessert, but it's in the top half. Okay. What's after coconut cream? Key lime pie.
Tangy.
I would put key lime pie at the very top. It is my absolute favorite pie.
Oh. So you think this is the best pie? Period.
That is the best pie.
I like it a lot, and if he wants it to be S tier, that's cool.
Okay. Well, I'm defaulting to you guys because I've never even had key lime pie.
Yeah.
So
my stepdad used to make it, and he had a very, very good recipe for it.
I used to have a producer that wanted to make key lime pie flavored goat products.
Of course you did.
The goat products?
Yeah, I'm talking about sherry, of course. That's right.
Oh.
All right. After key lime, it's lemon meringue. Lemon meringue.
I don't like lemon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, we got a whoa from Dave. Dave, what do you think about lemon meringue?
I like it.
Is it better than apple pie?
You can put it with it, I would say. I probably like it better, but because Mike doesn't, so it's going to drag it down a little.
Okay. We'll put it right below apple pie.
I'm all right with that.
Peach. I don't know if I've ever had a peach pie.
I like a peach pie.
It's probably better than apple.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd put it up there. I'd put it up there in the B.
Yeah.
Man, the people watching that are like the classic American traditionalists are like, how is everything better than apple? Y'all are a bunch of commies.
That's because we started with the apple crisp.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
What did we put in B?
The other one in B is coconut cream, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'd put it in front of coconut cream. I'd put it
Okay,
there. Yes.
right there. All right. And then we have pear.
Ew. I've never
Ooh.
had
I've
it.
never had pear.
All right.
I imagine
To
it'd be
be-
good.
To be fair, so that I don't get hate mail, instead of putting it in F, I'm going to put it in never had. So that now you don't yell at me. Pecan. Is it pecan
S
or
tier.
pecan?
Yeah, pecan is S tier.
Is it pecan,
Pecan.
or pecan?
I say pecan. Pecan pie.
I make one every Christmas.
Yeah,
Fun
I
fact.
demand one every Christmas.
But is it right below key lime?
For me, it is, but Dave may have a different view on that.
Yeah, it would be above for me. So just throw it up there, and we can have our S
All
tier
right.
picks and
Okay. Pumpkin pie.
good stuff.
I like a pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
Okay.
above apple,
Above apple.
Yeah.
above coconut.
Yes.
So it'd probably be above peach. I don't know
Yeah.
if it would fit in A somewhere, because I think it would. Man, that's like a staple.
It is.
Okay. Well, we'll put it. I can't even see. Like, people are watching me do this because I'm trying to look around the damn monitor. All right, we're gonna put it in A. I hope that's in A. Is it in A?
It is an A.
Yeah.
Okay. It's at the bottom of A because it's having to compete with these, neo age all stars like crumbs and chocolates and everything else. Rhubarb.
Never had it.
I've never had
Yeah,
it either. I couldn't
I
even
don't
tell you
think
what
so.
it is.
I think it's like Fig Newtons, ain't it?
Isn't it a little bit tart? I think it's tart.
Yeah, I don't know. Never had. I couldn't say.
This only got put on the list because the official pie expert of It's Too Late, Celeste Annis, said we had to include rhubarb, and now every panelist said, "What's that?"
I mean, I've heard of it.
I've
It's
heard
like
of
a
it too.
strawberry rhubarb. Yeah.
To be fair, gonna put it in the never had so that the rhubarb lobby doesn't write the show. Strawberry pie.
Gonna pull their sponsorship.
Yeah, along with Mother's
Oh.
Wax. That's right.
For me,
Probably-
that would be. I like strawberries, but I don't like strawberry pie. I would actually put it below apple.
Okay.
And I would have put it just above, but it can go in C. It's definitely better than cherry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll
fine.
put it in C. Notice, folks, as we're coming down to the last one, all the fat asses on tonight's show didn't put a single dessert in the F tier. They're all going in our bellies.
Heck yeah.
That's gonna
All
be a
right.
big plate.
Last but not least, sweet potato pie.
I think I've had it. It's like pumpkin, right?
Yeah, it's very much like pumpkin. It's in fact it's difficult to differentiate them.
B above apple or C below pumpkin?
I'd put
Or
it
A above.
below. I'd put it below pumpkin just because if you're gonna have that kind of pie, I'm gonna have pumpkin pie.
Okay, well, based on that, then I'm going to put it at the top of B as opposed to the bottom of A.
I'm good.
All right.
Good with that.
Wow.
All right,
Nice spread.
that we
I
did
Did
like
it.
everybody get their screenshots?
Yeah. So take your screenshots. Let us know in the comments below why Mike
the
is
hate.
wrong about everything. Remember, this is not me. I don't even like pie. We're gonna have to do a cake list for me to have any say. I think because
I feel like anybody who doesn't like pie is most likely a communist.
well, better go ahead and just close that down. Then I think. All right, Mike, you want to come back for the later part of the show?
May I?
Yes, you may.
Let's do it.
Guys, we're going to be back with the meme of the week and the viewer mail right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Hey, Dave.
Yes, Alan.
What time is it?
It's time for meme of the week.
And for some reason, when I pointed my gun at him, he shot me. You know, Han shot first, right?
Okay. See, I knew that
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, it's Greedo.
Right.
It's Greedo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just making sure, just for everybody at home.
Yeah.
Han shot first.
Yeah. I don't care what Disney did to it. We all
Yeah.
know.
There's only two types of people. There's people who understand that Han shot first, and there's, like Holocaust deniers. Those are the only two people.
Same category.
Yeah, but we do have a bonus meme. Check out the bonus meme. Can't wait to abolish the CIA when I get home.
That'll do it.
Oh, that'll do it. That's right. As a matter of fact, it will. History has taught us that. We have to get a move on things tonight because we've tried to fit a fifth segment into this 4-segment show.
Basically,
so let's go ahead and answer the viewer mail. Such a satisfying sound, isn't it?
So good.
This guy likes cream pies, by the way. He said that on my show. Okay. Ryan Seifert writes, Dear Alan and Dave, is lasagna a casserole? You know what? The thing is, Ryan, is that a casserole is a single, cohesive, one-dish meal that is baked.
Yep.
And
it's
so
a pretty broad
lasagna is a
definition.
casserole.
It is.
Yeah. I'm going to have all you guys over for some lasagna casserole. Just you wait. Yeah. I wonder if that basically means like baked ziti is also a casserole.
Yeah.
Which it is. Yeah. Wow.
Pretty
Ryan.
much anything in a pan in the oven is a casserole.
I'm surprised Ryan was able to give us such an interesting question when he was out there like torching car lots and lighting dumpsters on fire and everything else. It's amazing.
Busy guy.
Jonathan Carranza writes, Dear Alan and Dave, are the Black Friday rushes to the doors going to outdo the Travis Scott stampede? Oof. All right. So we would never make light of a tragedy on this program. I'm sorry. I could almost say it without laughing. No, it won't. I think that there won't be a lot of Black Friday rushes this year because no one has any money. So there you go.
Can't afford to drive there.
Yeah. Elam Stoltz writes, Dear Alan and Dave, you guys killed the serial tier list last week, so does that make you serial killers? You see, you know whose fault this is? This is Andrew Avery's fault. Because he's just paraded through this program for years now with his nonsense puns, and this is like a copycat killer.
Yeah.
This is a copycat punner. That's what that is. But Dave is a serial killer. Logan Denny writes, Dear Alan and Dave, would you rather be accused of being BLM or being a neocon? Dave, would you rather be accused of being BLM or being a neocon?
I'd say people are gonna hate this. I'd probably BLM because there are some people with the good heart in it, and then there's the people that co-opted it for their own political reasons. I mean, I guess I'd take that. Neocon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those things of, well, are you talking about BLM, the organization, or BLM, the movement?
That's how I took it.
Yeah. That's how you take it, is it, Dave?
Oh, man.
All right. I'd actually rather be accused of being BLM too, just because the accusation would be ridiculous and I would laugh at them. But if they called me a neocon, I would shoot them 3 times center mass and claim self-defense. It's aggression to call somebody a neocon.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Lyle Durio writes, Dear Alan and Dave, do you know where I can find a deal on a Turbo Man toy? That's a pop culture reference there by old Lyle.
I thought we had to Google something again.
Yeah, I mean I think that movie's like
Mhm.
like 25 years old or something now. But
It's
by
Jingle All the
Mississippi
Way.
standards, that's new. Like,
Oh, I did. Yeah.
yeah, like Forrest Gump just came out in theaters in Mississippi. So,
So after you're done roller skating, you're gonna go hit the theater and check out
yeah,
Jingle
yeah,
All the Way.
yeah. Jingle all the way. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Derek Truesdale writes, Dear Alan and Dave, is it worth going out for Black Friday deals if it falls on a riot?
I think the
mean,
discounts are better.
but the places where riots could or would happen are not places that I go to do shopping, because those are the places where everything costs too much anyway, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like just go down to Mississippi, and then you can catch, Shakespeare in Love, and then buy a Furby.
Is that what they're known for?
I don't even hate Mississippi. I just actually I do hate Alabama though. So
There goes all of our Alabama viewers.
oh no, people from Alabama don't have computers, Dave. They're not. Jesus. All right. Mary Lynn Wilimowski writes, Dear Alan and Dave, whereabouts do you squeeze on the tube of toothpaste when putting it on your toothbrush, assuming for this scenario that the tube is at least half full? I like
Does she
how
really
this
have to bring
segment.
this up on the show?
I love how this segment has turned into Mary griping at you passive aggressively through the show. All right, Dave, whereabouts do you squeeze on the tube of toothpaste?
It's not me. No. I don't think it. Obviously, squeeze from the bottom, but it doesn't really matter as long as every once in a while you put it like on a corner of a wall and you take your toothbrush from the bottom and just push it to the top, and then it's like a whole new tube at that point. As long as
So
you
you-
reset it every once in a while, it doesn't matter.
So you don't like roll it up as it empties?
No, that it ain't gonna hold that anyways. I used to put like a chip clip on there, like one of those pinch you like the. Yeah, I was gonna try to market that. TM.
And then you found yourself a producer of libertarian podcasts.
Yeah, I
Why?
figured this was more lucrative.
Yeah, you probably thought right about that. Laldurio writes, Dear Alan and Dave, didn't he already ask a question? Didn't I just
Yeah.
answer a question? Yeah. Whatever, we'll do it anyway. Do you have a favorite Thanksgiving dish? Well, we just did a whole segment on pie, but I don't even like pie, so that doesn't even count as my answer. Dave, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I should have thought about this. It's like when it mixes all together. It's like the whole dish. You need the mashed potatoes and peas and turkey and stuffing all kind of get blended. But yeah, that single green bean casserole.
All right, so true sociopaths just put their whole dinner into a blender and blend it up and drink it like Dave Wilimowski does.
Yeah, it's like a bowl.
So I like the stuffing. So there you go. Didn't we answer that question like last week? What? Because I specifically remember saying what I just
the green
said,
bean
talking
casserole.
about the stuffing. Yeah.
It was what dish is new or something like that? Because I remember, I don't know, something like that.
These people.
Mhm.
Andrew Avery writes, Dear Alan and Dave, was Kyle Rittenhouse justified in disarming Gage? How do you pronounce that guy's name? Grosskreutz?
Oh, I've never tried to say it out loud.
Dear Alan and Dave, was Kyle Rittenhouse justified in disarming Gage Grosskreutz? Disarming him.
Yeah, I see what he did there.
Yeah. Andrew's puns have gotten really dark lately. Have you noticed that?
Is everything okay at home?
This is like the third or fourth in the row that had something to do with, here's a pun, oh, by the way, that guy died or something. Like, yeah. He was justified, actually.
Yeah, the jury said so.
That. Yeah, the jury said so. And so there you are. They were banning people on social media if you said Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. And now all those people are coming back now and saying, oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, democracy. I don't know.
Do I get my profile back?
No.
Nah, that's
right.
figured.
Adam Skosen writes, Dear Alan and Dave, do you perform your own vehicle maintenance? Dave, do you perform your own vehicle maintenance?
I'll do. I was gonna say I'll do basic stuff. Like I'll do brakes on my own, but at a certain point, it's like I don't have the time, and they'd probably do a better job than me, and I can just go to work and pay for it. But I've done a lot of weird stuff where I had to go onto YouTube and look up videos to change out like a blower motor transistor or something. But for the most part, I try not to unless I can't figure out how to explain it to the mechanic.
Honestly, I wouldn't even drive myself if I didn't have to.
Okay.
This like I went into being a late night host so that I could have a chauffeur. That's
It's out of oil. Okay, time to get a new one.
the chauffeur or the car. That's all right. And finally for this evening, Chris Mallard writes, "Is it true?" Or Dear Alan and Dave, is it true that the older you get, the less impact a life sentence has on your perspective?
Mm.
Chris,
No, I think. Yeah.
Chris, are you threatening to do something that might get you a life sentence, buddy? Is everything okay? Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't. Whatever it is you're planning, don't do it. But if you are going to do it, make sure to get yourself an It's Too Late with Alan Mosley mug or t-shirt, and make sure you're sporting that.
It's a beautiful mug.
It is.
At your trial.
Yeah. Check that out. That was actually given to me by Derek and Celeste. And
They're the best.
my repayment for their kindness is to call them out during the pie chart and make fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you would say that this is why the show is going down the tubes, but actually our views and downloads are all up. The
Told
worse
you,
I've been
they
to the
love it.
audience and the more tier lists we've done, the higher our views have gotten. This used to be a serious political show with Ron Paul and such.
Yeah. You had Ron Paul.
Yeah, we had Ron Paul. And now look, now we have pies
Look how
and
far you've
Halloween
come.
candy and JFK. Look how far he went. So there you go. Guys, we're going to be back with Mike Maharrey of the 10th Amendment Center right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Your ad could be playing right now, reaching thousands of potential customers. Sadly, it's not, but it could be. Find out how to be an advertised sponsor for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Email us at info@alanmosley.tv. Guys, welcome back to the show. Our guest this evening is the National Communications Director of the 10th Amendment Center, as well as the host of the Godarchy podcast, making something like his 11th appearance on the show to talk with us about OSHA, mandates, and so much more. It's Mike Maharrey. Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm hungry now with all the pie talk.
Well, okay. In our defense, in episodes past, we always do the tier list at the end of the show. Like, that's kind of like our finale before we send it off. But we had to fit it in at the beginning of the show because we just don't have enough time for all the dumb crap that the audience wanted to see this week. And so we shoved it into the JFK segment. I mean, naturally. So,
Anyway, yeah.
Mike, on December 4th of last year, December 4th, 2020, Joe Biden said in response to a question about vaccine mandates, quote, "No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand it to be mandatory." So we're going to start there. What changed?
I'm floored that a politician lied.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. But to give people a little bit of background here, there's a difference, of course, between federal mandates and state mandates. And now there have been a variety of states that have handled the pandemic in looser or more strict ways. Mm-hmm. But we haven't really had to worry about a federal mandate until quite recently.
This is true.
And then Biden rolls out this threat of a federal mandate. And then the question becomes, well, when is it going to take effect? and how is it going to be enforced? Now, the when is a little bit up for debate because I guess it was supposed to be right after the first of the new year, but
Yeah, it
now
was
it's
like
currently
November something.
yeah, but now it's currently in a stay
Right.
because there's a big court battle going on. But the how was going to be OSHA. So I'm going to turn it back over to you right there for that. Exactly, just for people who have been living in an absolute bubble, or for lucky folks who have never been any type of contracting or construction, who have no idea who OSHA is. What is OSHA, and how exactly was OSHA going to be involved with a vaccine mandate?
So OSHA is your federal agency for workplace safety. It's like what? Occupational Safety and Health Administration, I think is what OSHA stands for. It's yet another unconstitutional alphabet agency that shouldn't exist in the first place, but we live in a post-constitutional world, so it does. And basically what it does is it enforces workplace safety mandates that come down from the federal government. So, they have things like they regulate ladders and, toxic chemicals that may be in the workplace. They want to make sure that there's proper railings, all of these things that have to do with workplace safety. Now, somebody might be saying, well, Mike, how can you object to workplace safety? Well, I don't object to workplace safety. I object to the federal government doing it because there's no constitutional authority for such things. And it's really ridiculous to have a federal agency micromanaging something like workplace safety. Now, some people will say, well, Mike, people say, well, Mike a lot. Well, Mike, there's the Commerce Clause. The federal government has the power to regulate interstate commerce. Well, that's true. But, as with so many things with the Constitution, the federal government, the courts have effectively changed the meaning of the word commerce from what it meant when the Constitution was written and ratified. Commerce was simply meant to regulate trade across state lines, not workplace safety and health and all of these things that the federal government does. So we have this agency. And I guess, I'm sure that the legal scholars in the White House and in Washington, D.C., they had to think long and hard. How are we going to justify doing this vaccine mandate? Well, people have to go to work and they might get coronavirus. So therefore, it's an issue of workplace safety. So logically, OSHA should regulate it. And so here we are.
Now, so OSHA theoretically is going to be the regulatory piece of enforcing this mandate.
Right.
But I was just reading in an article very recently that straight out of the horse's mouth, where they were saying, well, let's be honest with ourselves here. OSHA doesn't have, when I say OSHA doesn't have the manpower to police this action, I don't mean they need to hire, even 50 or 100,000 new regulators. It's not possible. There's
Right.
so many millions of more workplaces and potential violations than there could possibly be federal inspectors, that it's just simply incomprehensible for them to do it. But whether it's this particular mandate or whether it's a variety of other federal actions, how would OSHA go about enforcing it?
Well, it wouldn't. And it's interesting. I've got the numbers. OSHA actually had a personnel problem even before they rolled out this vaccine mandate. So OSHA has roughly 770 inspectors. There are about 1,200 inspectors that are state agents, but effectively have been deputized and work for OSHA. So, basically you've got a little over 2,000 or so inspectors that are working to enforce OSHA regulations. There are over 7 million workplaces in the United States. So do the math. And people that have actually done the math will tell you, and again, this was out even before we had this mandate, it would take 164 years for OSHA in its current configuration to inspect all 7 million businesses one time. So it's crystal clear that there is no way in the world that OSHA could possibly enforce this mandate if, masses of companies just said, we're not doing it. What they're depending on is that, number one, the threat alone will be sufficient to cow people into complying. And number two, and there was actually a CBS News article about this, they plan on relying on snitches to enforce this mandate. And you know what they say about snitches, right? Snitches get stitches. But in all seriousness, they expect that, Karen, who sits in the cubicle next to you and who somehow knows that Maharrey didn't get vaccinated, she's going to call up and tattletale. And that way, the OSHA inspectors won't actually have to inspect. They'll get tipped off when companies are not complying, and then they'll be able to enforce these massive fines. And again, they're hoping that the threat of this will be enough to get businesses to comply. And sadly, I think in a lot of cases that will probably be the case.
So you think sadly that'll be the case in a lot of situations.
I don't have a lot of faith in my fellow human beings.
Okay. But this whole situation really mirrors what happens in so many other sectors and with so many other mandates, which is that the federal government relies on cooperation from state entities in order to enforce it. And so there's kind of that popular phrase of, without the enforcement, all of that trumpeting from Washington are just bad ideas from evil people. But none of them really have any sway over you or me unless our neighbors, our employers, or our state and local governments are tag teaming. But it sounds so simple when you put it that way. Well, in that case, we just won't do it. They'll say it and we won't do it, and that's the end of it. But so often that's not the end of it. How do the feds go about pressuring or incentivizing or disincentivizing state and localities into enforcing their will?
Well, they oftentimes use the carrot and stick approach of federal funding. So you'll have a lot of state governments that are afraid that if they take action against the federal government, they'll lose, certain amounts of money that are flowing into the state coffers. But the truth of the matter is, it really tends to be more of a political situation than anything else. If you have states that your state legislatures are pretty much aligned with the Biden administration, they're certainly not going to stop cooperating with federal enforcement. If you live in a red state, it's far more likely that your state legislature will take some kind of action. And we're starting to see this action percolate up. We've had a couple of bills that have been introduced. I think one in Idaho, and then also I think in Florida, where they're starting to make moves toward refusing to enforce these mandates. And I think when the state legislatures actually get rolling, which will really happen in January, I think you'll see a lot of states that will put up resistance against the mandate. So in my view, really, to stop this thing, it's totally possible because, as we've already established, the federal government can't enforce it themselves. So it really needs to be a two-pronged attack. It needs to be, one, states and localities can refuse to enforce it, refuse to inspect, refuse to take the phone calls, and just not cooperate in any way, shape, or form. And then the second really is a matter of human action. It requires people being willing to say, you know what, I'm not going to be cowed into allowing the federal government to force me to do this. That whether it's getting vaccinated or whether it's employers, just saying, well, I'm not doing this. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach. State and local action and human action is really what is necessary. But this can be stopped. And we've seen the effectiveness of this with, even the air traffic control and weather issues that Southwest Airline experienced, which we all know that wasn't what that was. There are enough people who don't want to do this that can effectively create a lot of pain for the federal government. In fact, I read something the other day. I think it was in Long Island, New York. One of the hospitals there is shutting down their emergency room for the next month because they don't have enough vaccinated nurses to treat the patients. So, that human action has a lot of sway, and you put some state action or local action on top of it. I think we really could put a lot of pressure on the Biden administration to back off of this. So I'm a little bit optimistic about that, even though I'm not terribly optimistic about, my fellow humans.
All right. On that note, Mike, stick around. We're going to be back to talk a little bit about waging your battles in court versus doing it closer to home right after this commercial break. Don't go away. If you're enjoying tonight's show, consider supporting the program by becoming a member of our Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/Alan Mosley. I'm just glad you did it instead of Mike. I thought that we were going to have like a tag team on that one. Guys, welcome back to the show. We're going to move in, try to fit this in before we run out of time. So the mandate gets announced. There's a little bit of conjecture about if there is actually technically even a mandate, because people claim that they can't even actually find anything on the books. Funny how people making threats and actual laws are two separate things. But not even getting into all that. Then Court of Appeals says, the court says, no. We're going to put a hold on that because that sounds flagrantly unconstitutional, which, I mean, if a federal court is saying something unconstitutional, it must really be unconstitutional. It must be really bad. And then the appeals court said, yeah, we're going to uphold the stay for now. And all the right wing and the conservative is cheering. The courts have come to save us, Mike Maharrey. But you're saying that that's not the end of the story.
Well, I'm skeptical that the courts will ultimately save us. The circuit where the stay was introduced, and I actually read the opinion. It's actually not bad for a federal court, federal judges. They actually talked about commandeering. It made the point that where does the federal government get the power to commandeer private employers to enforce, some kind of mandate? And then they talked about the 10th Amendment issues. So it was a pretty solid opinion, but it happens to come out of the most conservative circuit in the federal judiciary. And so what they've actually done is they're going to take all of the lawsuits and they're going to stick them together into one big lawsuit. And they're literally going to have a lottery to determine which circuit hears the case. So, I mean, it could get up there. What is it? The 9th Circuit or the 12th Circuit? The one out in California, that is about as hard left as you can get. They're going to uphold a vaccine mandate. Ultimately, of course, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And I just don't have any faith that the Supreme Court is going to side against the government. They almost always uphold government power. Now, you may get lucky. That's not a game of roulette that I really want to play. I know for a fact if the state and localities withdraw support, if we don't cooperate with it, I know for a fact that'll stop it. I'm skeptical that the politically connected lawyers at the Supreme Court are ultimately going to say, oh, no, Joe Biden, you can't do that. They might, but I doubt it. I don't think that's the best strategy. Running off to the government to stop the government, that's an iffy strategy to me. And yet that's what the conservatives, that's what they're screaming for. In fact, I wrote this article about the importance of state and local action and this idea of human action. And we actually got angry emails from Republicans saying, you need to focus on the court cases. This nullification stuff isn't going to work. And that's exactly what they said with Obamacare. We don't need to do nullification. We'll just go to sue in the courts because this is clearly unconstitutional and there's no way the courts are going to uphold it.
Well, on that note, I want to change gears really quickly because we're almost out of time. There's been some debate lately on the topic of this is sort of like a principled absolutism versus incremental sort of kind of conversation to be had of the pros and cons of state and local governments banning certain activities from private businesses. Now, in a vacuum, with us having no other conversation about what it is that's being banned, we generally, as folks like us would say, well, I don't really want to tell private actors what they can and can't do with their own money, with their own business, with their own in their own homes, whatever. On the other hand, there have been states that have moved to sign executive governors that have signed executive orders, states that have passed bills in their state legislatures to say we're not going to allow critical race theory. We're not going to allow mask mandates or vaccine mandates enforced within our state borders. We're not going to allow it. It's not even a matter of forcing it to happen. We're going to force it not to happen. Now, and I understand the two sides of the debate. One side being, well, we're not about force. You're not about coercion. And if they want to have a mandate for themselves, maybe they should be allowed to. On the other hand, I understand the argument of, but these people, are they even private actors if they're enforcing the regime's will? Michael Rectenwald refers to big tech companies that do the exact same thing as governmentalities. You're in bed with government. You're helping the Biden administration get what it wants by enforcing its mandates for them. And then there's state and local government saying, no, we're not going to let you do that in our state, in our town. Where do you fall on that?
I am very much a principle guy over pragmatism, because we all love it when the government does something that we agree with, right? We're excited if the government, the state comes in and says, you're not going to enforce a vaccine mandate in this state. Yay, we love that because that's the policy that we like. But these same people were pulling their teeth out back during Bake the Cake. And there's no difference. So my philosophy is you want to limit government power whenever possible, at whatever level possible, because at some point, the power that you give them today to do something good is going to be turned against you. And 99% of the things that the government does are bad. They're detrimental to liberty. They're detrimental to your pocketbook. I feel like that we ultimately need to stand on principle, or else we're going to get buried by government. That's, and I know there are people that will disagree with me, and I, we can have a respectful debate. I understand where they're coming from, but I think it's very much an issue of you're cutting off your nose to spite your face when you get in bed with government trying to stop government.
Well, there you go. We're out of time, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'm gonna withhold my opinion. So if anyone's angry, you just go on Twitter. It's at MMaharrey10th. Let them know what you think.
Or you can email me at michael.maharrey@10thAmendmentCenter.com.
There you go. Well, I don't know, man. I follow Bolden on Twitter. I know what he does with people's angry remarks. He lets everyone else hear them too. Mike, where can people go to get more information from the 10th Amendment Center and from you personally?
Well, I would very much appreciate it if folks would head over to 10thamendmentcenter.com. That is all spelled out. And there you will find the history and the meaning of the Constitution. And you will also find all of the activism that we're working on. So as these bills begin to be introduced in various states, you'll be able to follow that at the 10th Amendment Center blog. You can also, if you're interested in the relationship between government and the church, you can check out my site, godarchy.org. And I'm going to let your listeners in on, you're going to get a sneak peek at a special that I'm going to be running for Black Friday.
Ooh.
My book,
All right.
Constitution Owner's Manual, which you may or may not be able to see in the background. The real Constitution the politicians don't want you to know about. If you want to learn about the Constitution, I highly recommend this book because I wrote it. But it goes through the various clauses of the Constitution, the principles behind the Constitution, the history, and in a very logical and I don't want to say simple, but in a way that will help you understand what the Constitution originally was supposed to mean and say. So you can check that out. Go to constitutionownersmanual.com. And on Black Friday, there will be special pricing on Amazon and from my own website. So you'll be able to get that. If you want to give something to your friends, give them the gift of knowledge.
I happen to know for a fact that makes an excellent audiobook.
It does. And it was read by this guy. It was fantastic. I mean, can't imagine any better reading of this book.
Wonder whatever happened to him. I think he went the way of Chris Cantwell. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear he's doing some late night show or something.
Yeah, douchey. Yeah. Guys, on that note, now you know where to follow Mike Maharrey. Go send him a key lime pie. In the meantime, we're going to be back to wrap up the show right after this commercial break. Hi guys, it's Alan here, and I want to take a moment to let you know about one of our supporters who started a new business. Laura Moreau sells 50 different health and wellness all-natural products, from weight loss, supplements, energy enhancers, body toning, longer and stronger hair, and so much more. Do you like coffee? Well, they even have coffee that'll help you drop some pounds, and who doesn't want to drop a few pounds? Go check her out at her online store at lauramoreau.itworks.com today. That's lauramoreau.itworks.com. Like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/AlanMosleyTV. You can follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/AlanMosleyTV. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/AlanMosleyTV. Don't forget, you can find us on Odyssey. Go to odyssey.com, search for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley or Alan Mosley TV. If you're more of a listener than a watcher, get us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice thanks to Anchor FM. It's anchor.fm/Alan Mosley TV. Dave, do you have a final thought?
That was really good. I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah?
It's kind of neat producing because I'm forced to actually watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and I like the idea of, the hope that it gives me that if everybody just did a little bit, we could get out of this.
I love that might be the best review this program's ever gotten. One time I was forced to watch the whole thing, and I liked it. Guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of It's Too Late, and we will see you next week.